Hey, what's up guys, it's Risky here. Welcome back to another episode of Pro Tips for New Players. I hope that in today's video I can give you some useful tips to make your life a little bit easier when playing Call of the Wild. Alright, let's jump straight into tip number 1. When out hunting in Call of the Wild, you probably feel the need that you have to crouch and be sneaky everywhere you go. I recommend you to just run. This will help you cover more ground quickly and help you find animals a lot faster. If you know that you are coming close to an animal or a need zone, then you should begin to crouch or prone. If you spend all your time just crouching around everywhere you go, you are going to waste a lot of time that you could be spending on actually shooting animals. So don't be afraid to just hold shift or hold down that left stick, man. For tip number 2, I highly recommend you to save up some money and buy a bunch of tints. Tints are very useful to help you get around the map much faster. I made a whole guide on tint placement that you should check out because there is some pretty useful tips in that video. You may notice that a lot of content creators that play this game, we are constantly fast traveling from one area of the map to another using tints. We do this because if we are hunting a certain animal, it helps us to get to the need zones in different places of the map much faster. Moving on to tip number 3, this is just about as easy as it gets, but it's going to make tracking and spotting animals just a little bit easier. If you go into your game settings, you may notice you have a bunch of options to change the track colors and spotting colors, things like that. I suggest you change these colors to something that will stand out easy on the specific map that you are playing on. That way they will be a lot more visible and you won't have a hard time finding the tracks. You may notice that if you travel to a different map after changing these settings that they are probably going to be set back to something different. That's because you can select a different color for each individual map. For the tracks anyways, I'm not really sure about the spotting outline. This is definitely really useful for the snowy maps and some of the maps that have a lot more dense vegetation. So setting it to a color that's going to stand out really well is definitely worth doing. Do you ever have trouble with wolves attacking you, buffaloes trampling you, or a bridge that you need to get off quickly? Well, then you should carry some dang med kits. They are pretty cheap to buy and they are lifesavers. Literally. Here's a cool trick for getting down from high places quickly. Just jump off with a med kit in your hand. Once you hit the ground, you'll see your health start to decrease. Once you see it drop, use the med kit and it'll save you from a fall. I can't tell you how many times I've been saved by these things, especially when you get a herd of angry Cape buffalo after you. And for the final tip of episode 2, be sure to always run around with your binos in your hand. I always see people running around with their gun out, but what you should be doing is scanning ahead for any animals with your binos. This will allow you to know if anything is ahead of you, that way you can begin to crouch and sneak up to get a shot. There's been a few situations I've been in where I was just scanning off in the distance and I just so happened to spot a diamond animal, so it's definitely worth keeping those binos out while you're sprinting around. If you're just running around with your gun out, you're not really going to be able to see much ahead of you, so you're probably going to end up spooking a lot more animals. Well, that's all the tips I have for you in episode 2. I'm going to make a few more episodes of pro tips. I enjoy helping people out, especially with these really quick little tip videos. You know, they're only a couple minutes long, but they're very informative. If you need any other guides / tips and tricks videos, be sure to check out my noob guides playlist. I'm sure there's something in there that will definitely help you out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.